It may not be, but Sicario's not the one about the rich guy.
No, Sicario.
It's a hitman.
Yeah, it's Spanish for hitman.
All right, okay.
It's the one with Benicio Del Toro and Emily Blunt.
I like Benicio Del Toro.
Really?
Yeah, he's pretty badass.
He's kind of niche. He's not got a
He's
very
cool.
wide range.
He's badass. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy, isn't
He is.
Yeah, he's the collector, isn't he?
Eh?
Eh.
He's kind of niche. That's Alice's way of saying, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
You're weird for liking him. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 17 of Splitting Pixels. Sophia has joined us again after her time away.
It's not that I left, it's just that I wasn't here.
You took a holiday, you left us. You abandoned us.
Burnt down the
You
house.
make it sound like I've...
You left me with these two.
These two.
These two. I'm still traumatised. Okay. So there's myself, Ross, and Matt, and Alice are here as well. So the big talking point, I actually kind of was really thinking about something we touched on the last episode, which was when Call of Duty kind of went a bit off the reservation, changed their Twitter handle to look like a news source, and then started talking about basically terrorist attacks in Singapore.
Like, I don't know if you clarified when you were talking about it last time, but they changed what's like their display name, but their username was the same. But like when you were on Twitter for mobile, which the majority of users are using, you can't see the username, you only see the display name. So I'm not surprised that a lot of people took it seriously.
Yeah, and plus a lot of people were just retweeting it without context.
Yeah.
So people are going to freak out, especially when the news media gets a hold of it. Maybe they haven't done their research, and then.
But you know what? They got the publicity they were after.
Absolutely.
Whether it was good or bad, people are still going to buy that game. So.
Absolutely. And that kind of made me think about some of the worst PR stunts that I've ever heard of in video games. I don't know if you guys have heard of any that maybe I haven't, but nothing springs to mind?
No, just the the Mass Effect Twitter thing that I brought up last time.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jurassic Park one where they had the crate in was it Heathrow? Or like the underground in London?
I don't think I heard about that one.
And gradually they replaced it with a different model, so it looked like velociraptors were just gradually like breaking out of the crate and were going to escape into London.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Really cool, yeah.
That was the cover-up story. There were actually... oh no, it was like a really elaborate... Yeah.
They're just like, shit, we can't let people know that
just like a velociraptor on like riding the tram around Heathrow, like with a newspaper in its little claws.
I'm imagining the is it Velociraptor, that meme of the thing?
Yeah.
But that would be the best. Like if a tube came up to you at the station and the driver was a velociraptor just looking at you, would you get on that?
It's
train?
like
Exactly.
Have you seen Jurassic Park? Because I don't think it would be a good thing.
It's like when you
If
see
he
a
turns
dog
up and he's
driving.
wearing a hat and everything.
Just like a little train conductor's hat.
I don't think velociraptors have arms long enough to put a hat on. So
You don't know.
I would be suspicious as to how he got a hat.
They would build a contraption.
It's all like covered in blood. It's still got a bit of hair and scalp stuck to the inside of it.
Yeah. All in all, I just don't think velociraptors are trustworthy. So.
You know, you might be onto something there. That's your finely honed evolutionary skills at work there. See, Matt would be... Yeah, but you'd have a great time, Matt, before it disemboweled you.
Is it velociraptors that were meant to be feathery?
Yeah.
So it would look even weirder.
Yeah,
That's true.
Just a giant bird.
Like, Christ, the seagulls at Heathrow are huge.
Well, they were just like big chickens.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
You sound like that kid at the start of Jurassic Park. I feel like Matt should
like
get...
a giant turkey.
I think Matt should get out one of those big hooks, the big claws, and be like, it cut you here, and here, and here.
But like,
We have no idea how we know this. We're just going to
that's
say
like
it's
saying,
fact.
wouldn't you be excited if a tram rolled up and it was being driven by a chicken with arms?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'd probably get on just to see where he was going.
It Why did he want to cross the road via tram? We will never know. I'm sorry.
He just disappeared off into the sunset.
That's all he ever wanted to do, and now he has the means to do it.
You just see like a bunch of guys in like Bernard Matthews jumpsuits, like going, "He went that way."
There was an episode of BoJack Horseman a bit like that, because you know BoJack Horseman, it's like the animals and people, but it's like people animals.
They never mention it, do they?
Well, it's just kind of there. But then one of the recent episodes I watched in season 2 that is talking about chicken farms, and so they refer to them as friend chickens and food chickens, and the food chickens are basically like they kind of like they don't have like people brains. Okay. And there's this whole episode about how one escaped, but then like Todd wants to be friends with it and he doesn't want it to go back to the chicken farm. It's ridiculous. But BoJack Horseman is awesome.
So sorry, Velociraptors and chickens aside, which is a phrase that we've probably used before.
Why were we talking about it on a tram?
That should be the episode title. Velociraptors and chickens aside.
Derailed.
It works. It works so well. So the first one that I thought of, well, I actually went looking for some of them. Some of them were kind of in the back of my mind because I remember how awful they were. But the first one, I'll start off fairly tame. So I don't know if any of you guys played Bulletstorm.
I know it, but I never played it.
It was one of the epic spin-off teams, People Can Fly, made this game for EA, and it was basically this hyper-violent space shooter. A little bit like Borderlands, actually, in terms of tone. Mm-hmm. It was silly, and every other word was fuck. And it was kind of taking the mick out of Gears of War, even though it was from Epic as well.
That's not the one with the guy, you have an animation to smoke a cigarette. You're in like a RoboCop kind of silver suit looking thing, or am I thinking of something?
That's Metal Gear Solid, man.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Doesn't matter, carry on.
That could be applied to Metal Gear Solid as well.
Do you have a button to actually smoke a cigarette?
You have to equip it, but yeah.
Fantastic.
And you just see your health bar blink as it goes down as you smoke.
That's great.
But yeah, so basically what they did was they sent out journalists, and this is actually quite a common thing, it seems. They sent out journalists packaged meat. Meat is a theme for this particular topic, which is very strange. But basically they sent out, and it looked like basically like a packet of meat that you would pick up at the supermarket. And it was all like charred and had like bullet holes in it. And it was essentially to highlight the fact that this is a game where it's so ultra violent that you turn your enemies into meat, and they're just full of bullet holes.
Did they just send them like raw chicken and stuff?
It looked like red meat. It was beef, I think.
That's gross.
It was really, really weird. And I saw the picture. We'll definitely have a picture for the blog.
Yeah, sure.
And it's essentially they've wrapped it in like their branded cling film, and it's got basically it's like propaganda from the game wrapped over this meat.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that someone was coming after you if you got that in the mail.
If you think that's creepy, just wait until you hear some of the other ones.
It just sounds like, and I'm sure it'll get worse, an art student's attempt at being edgy advertising.
Well,
what if we send them meat?
See, that's for a lot of these. I get the feeling that that's what it is. It's maybe like a marketing person fresh out of university.
Yeah, we had no rules in uni. I'm going to keep going with that.
Exactly.
It's nice to have those ideas, but they have to work.
Yeah.
Well,
to be
apparently, people in marketing take a lot of cocaine. So yeah, that's a common problem. So that would explain quite a lot.
Yeah. I haven't seen Mad Men yet, but I don't know if it's a documentary or not. So we'll keep it on the topic of meat for now.
Okay.
So that was EA. Capcom, when they were promoting... Well, first of all, when they were promoting Resident Evil 5, around London, they scattered, like, fake severed human limbs.
Oh, God, why?
Smeared with, like, chicken guts.
That's not a good start.
And they just left them.
No!
I mean, what the hell?
Like, did it even have any sort of, like, advertising material on the limb?
I don't think so.
Because what's the point? People are just going to be like, "Oh, this is gross.
Why
Phone
is
the
my
police."
dog freaking out?
I think it's probably so that they can have a big press release afterwards and go, "It was us!" Although I do like the thought of like someone maybe at Hyde Park like throwing a severed human arm for their dog who's like really into it because it smells of chicken guts.
But no, the smell though.
That's London.
Smell,
It's
though.
London.
Yeah, London kind of stinks. I'm just like, why would you grief the police, basically? That's what you're doing. You're just giving the police so much work because you wanted to advertise your game, which is already going to sell a load of
I imagine
copies.
they must have had people on, pardon the expression, on hand for this. Because, like, there's no way that you could just kind of leave it there. Griefing the police is also something that comes up in a later
For
one.
God's sake. So many segues.
So yeah, that was Resi 5. For Resi 6, at a trade event, they set up a butcher's stall
Okay.
and allowed people the chance to butcher and eat, in quotation marks here, human meat,
Oh,
including human meat that had been fashioned to look like testicles. Now, the website just says man parts, man flesh.
Testicles.
okay,
Yeah,
a testicle or a dick.
Yeah,
We're talking about what they look like though, so there's obviously a picture. There's no need for words.
Okay.
When you
Okay.
can paint people
paint a word picture. But yeah, so this was at a trade show, so they were using not human meat. At least they claimed that.
Hopefully.
To promote, and this was to promote Resident Evil 6. But I just found it strange that seems to be a theme that runs through, like meat. Oh, you know what? People love meat, and to be fair, that's true. But not when you smear it on a severed human arm and leave it in a dustbin.
Well, it's like when people make those cakes for baby showers that look like, you know, like a
Like
baby
what?
being born.
Oh, I've never
Yeah.
seen that.
It's
Oh.
like, why the fuck would anyone want to eat that?
Ah.
Especially when baby showers are predominantly women.
Yeah.
Like,
Why?
if women are there, chances are that's not something they want to eat.
Or even think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's enough to put you off chocolate.
Thing is, you could.
I
I like the trade show. The trade show. The fact that it's a trade show.
My mum was a midwife. I was a paediatric nurse. There's some chocolate as well as the
Yeah,
jam.
I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah.
Well, neither did they.
Mostly.
Trade show.
You're saying.
So you can do those events and things like that. I don't mind that if you're at a trade show because it's a cool booth that you've made a memory for people.
And it's confined
Yeah.
and in
Yeah.
context
Exactly.
as well.
You can make a memory for these people sending out a raw bit of meat if you want with a bullet hole in it, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
You need context, like you say.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll kind of on the meat angle, but not strictly about sending meat to people. When Sony were promoting God of War 2, this came up in the papers, and I read a Daily Mail article about it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, right. It was so outrageous that the Daily Mail were outraged
I
about
like it when they try to write about like games and stuff.
Yeah, well, in the article was quite old because God of War 2 was still
Yeah,
PS2 era.
Yeah.
And they referenced how Manhunt had apparently inspired a 14-year-old to kill someone in Lincoln.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Were you? Oh my, was that Alice?
No. No, I just remember that being a whole big thing because
I'm starting to see how you and Matt get on so well.
It was pretty brutal, eh, Matt?
I don't remember. I blacked out.
And that's your story. You're sticking to it.
But yeah, so apparently Sony they had this massive. Essentially, it was I think meant to look like a kind of Greek orgy, with
Well, it's God of War,
right?
so.
with topless servers, both male and female,
Free the nipple.
like
Who
serving
cares?
grapes to people. But they had sacrificed a goat, and apparently they had gotten a butcher to do this beforehand. So it was,
Right.
I don't know, ethically done. I don't know.
Humanely.
Yeah, supposedly.
Well, if it's a real butcher, you won't. Anyway, carry on.
So it could have just been a guy with a big knife. We don't know.
Wow.
Well, that's kind of what a butcher
Nicknamed
is.
the butcher.
Yeah.
Well, I'll kill it.
So and they ran photos of it in the PlayStation magazine that month to promote it.
Gross.
And the Daily Mail article censored it because, of course, it did.
Yeah.
But you can see what is clearly the body of a goat on like a plinth, and then like still connected by a little bit of tissue, the head, but it's dangling off the side of the table. And it just makes me wonder, what were they think? Like, God of War is brutal. Like, there's no way of getting around that. It's like Game of Thrones. It's like proto Game of Thrones.
But people play a game because they're never gonna be experiencing. Well, some people play games because they're never gonna experience that in real life, and they probably don't want to experience it in real life. Like PlayStation 2 graphics kind of censor it without meaning to.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
So where was this done? Sorry.
I think this was in London.
So a big party event thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not so against that one.
I think I wouldn't. As long as
it would be shocking, but
I wouldn't watch it. I don't think
it's not something I would like to. Oh, I wouldn't watch The Butcher.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, do you mean actually The Butcher?
Oh yeah,
like, check this shit out. And
starts a chainsaw. Yeah. So I just like they got their shock value. To be fair,
yeah.
Like everyone, like the Daily Mail knew about it.
I find it difficult to be angry at that because we all, meat eaters anyway. I like my food.
Oh yeah, it's very
so
hypocritical.
I don't feel guilty.
I just don't understand why that would make someone want to play the game. That's just what I'm confused about.
I think.
I guess it's just creating hype about it.
Yeah, I think in a lot of the case, it's not to tell anyone about the game. It's more just to get the name out there.
Yeah.
So, EA have come up a couple of times in my searches. I don't know if any of you guys played Mercenaries 2. It was an original Xbox game. It was really good fun. It was a little bit like Just Cause before Just Cause. So almost everything is destructible. It's largely physics based. It was made by the same guys, Pandemic, that made the Battlefront games.
Okay.
So to promote it, EA paid a garage in London to give away free petrol up to a value of £40 until they ran out. Of course, it caused a massive fuss. Like there was gridlock, and just traffic going all the way back, and it even made it to the ears of, I believe, the local MP at the time, which is just insane. I mean,
so what's the game about?
So Mercenaries, as the name suggests, you are a mercenary who's going in to basically complete military contracts.
Is it anything to do with cars?
Yeah, you drive like helicopters and tanks and lots of cars.
Okay.
I'm imagining the advertising around this will be like big classic fuel cans and things like that with branding all over it and stuff. So and everything explodes. Yes, so you've got or Molotovs. It's more I would imagine the advertising campaign that goes around that promotional event.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the actual event itself. But you're crazy if you're going to try and give away free fuel and not mess up your town.
Yeah.
Because people are... all you said there is they gave away £40.
Yeah.
But as soon as you turn that into worth of fuel, people go insane.
Yeah. Yeah, people must have been thinking it was another one of those end of the world type deals, you know, when you can't get bread or tins of beans anymore. But yeah, I thought that one was just lack of planning that made that one fail, because no one gets hurt in that scenario. Just people don't get to work on time.
Yeah.
And no goats get hurt.
As far as
just
we know.
an entire town where everyone's been fired.
Yeah. One that probably did result in people getting hurt, or potentially could have, is one that I very briefly mentioned to Matt, which is when Acclaim released Burnout 2.
Oh yeah.
They offered to pay speeding tickets.
Yeah, I knew about this
for
one.
anyone who was street racing the day that Burnout 2 was released.
Was it just street racing, or was it anyone who got a ticket?
I think it was just street racing.
That's just like, what?
It's so irresponsible.
Encourage crime.
Yes, exactly.
Endanger the lives of the drivers and any pedestrians.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine if Rockstar came out and said, "Hey, people who want to play GTA, any hookers you murder today, we'll pay your bail."
You're on your own for your court case, though.
Jeez. Yeah.
Acclaim have a bit of a history of doing stuff like this. They also had one where they said that they would sponsor a gravestone as long as they could put their marketing material for it. That was for a game called Shadow Man 2, which I think was original PlayStation.
Did anyone do that?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
I guess maybe people who need the money.
There's people who get adverts tattooed onto them and stuff like that, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
There's one that I remembered only while you were talking, so I didn't do any research about it. And I can't even remember if it did, well, it probably was a marketing stunt. Just before Metal Gear 5 came out, there was this whole like news report about how a scientist had completed a brain transplant for the first time. And then people were like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. And they looked at like the doctor that apparently did it, and he looks just like the doctor in Metal Gear, and they were like, fucking Kojima.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
But like I never read the follow up to that, so I'm not sure if it was confirmed that it was a PR stunt. So they didn't do a brain transplant, obviously.
It's kind of like meta trolling.
Yeah, which
that's
is just
almost impressive.
Kojima's whole fucking life.
Yeah.
Well, that is true. That's like a nice version of the thing we were talking about last week with the news story. It's not a, oh my goodness, run for your lives.
Yeah.
It's a, check out this really interesting thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God, I hope the news story we're going to be talking about isn't that.
I've got
The new Mass Effect's coming out! Oh no. Anyway.
I've got a PR stunt that isn't technically gaming related, or at least I think it was a PR stunt. Do you remember last Christmas there was that movie The Interview, and there was all the things like, we're going to bomb the cinema, la la. I don't think that was fucking real. I think that was an elaborate marketing stunt that got out of hand.
There was a lot
because like nobody, it just kind of went away. They released the movie anyway, and nothing happened. I'm like,
it coincided with the hack.
Yeah, and I think that's why Sony. I think that it was a marketing stunt, and they tried to like make it seem like it was the hack, but it was actually just them. Then it got out of hand. Obama got involved, and they were like, "Fuck, we need to like abort this right now." And then they just released it anyway.
Would there not be? Was that before or after the hack?
It was like during. So I think
it was kind of all around it. Yeah.
I'm just thinking that there might be proof of internal emails and things like that.
Maybe
there always is stuff like that, but maybe not. If you could say we're being attacked, you've obviously sealed up your servers now, and, or you just do everything by word of mouth and say, let's take some focus away from all the crazy stuff that's getting released.
I just totally didn't fall for it because like Team America is awful that movie, and like North America didn't care. North Korea didn't care, and like apparently the interview wasn't even that good, and it wasn't even that offensive, and so I just think that it was Sony trying to promote their movie that was kind of lackluster.
I don't know, the North Korean kind of embassies and stuff that you hear stories from over here. Like I know there's one I think in London, and they were outraged that someone was doing Kim Jong-un haircuts.
Yeah.
Like they were taking the mick out of it. So I don't know. I just thought like they have a very strong sense of national pride.
There was just no follow-up about it once the movie got released into cinemas. Like everything just kind of died down, and like more people saw that movie than would have because of the whole thing. Like I just didn't fall for it. I thought it was a marketing stunt that got out of hand personally.
But can jet fuel melt steel beams?
That is the question.
Sorry, I'll catch up.
Okay, in terms of just destruction and stupidity, when THQ released Homefront, they released around 10,000 paper lanterns into the San Francisco Bay.
Oh.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Kind of just elaborate littering.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, in fact, that ties in with North Korea really well,
Yeah.
I think, because I'm pretty sure it's North Korea that supposedly invades mainland America in that game.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think it's China, which is at least semi-feasible, but North Korea probably not.
Okay.
But yeah, they basically released a bunch of... There's conflicting reports. Some say it was balloons, and some say it was paper lanterns. But either way, they sent a bunch of shit into the San Francisco Bay that no doubt killed a bunch of wildlife and just kind of uglied the place up for a while.
I guess.
I think the city made them pay to pick it all up again.
Yeah, quite right.
One that I remember off the top of my head was, I'm pretty sure Bethesda gave like a lifetime, like anytime they release a game, they will give a copy of it to this family who named their child Dovahkiin. I'm almost certain that that's true.
I think I heard that.
Yeah. There was a similar thing with Turok. That was another Acclaim one, actually, where if you change your name to Turok, I think they give you like 10 grand or something. But
would you be allowed to then change it back afterwards? Could you get the 10 grand?
Probably.
Yeah,
probably.
So
there must be a
fine.
minimum time.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do it for a day.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's restrictions on the actual legality.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
the game, so.
Yeah. Most likely.
Otherwise, they would just fuck everything up. People would be changing them every day.
I think, there's 2 more. So, Ubisoft, when they were promoting Splinter Cell Conviction, sent an actor, like, swaddled in bandages into a bar with a fake gun. No one in the bar knew that he was an actor or that the gun was fake.
This is just America.
Did he get beaten up?
Isn't it?
He didn't get beaten up. Everyone was terrified of him, and he was able to stumble back out and away. But that very easily could have ended in an actor being shot by the police.
Yeah.
Or just the bar owner, straight up, right?
Yeah, possibly.
I'm not having this. Wow.
But that just shows how ill-conceived
Were they
these things
thinking it
can
was
be.
going to look like, an action hero or something that's stumbling in? Is that what it was?
I think so. Yeah,
he
like
survived some trial. No, he could be
being
chased with a gun.
being chased by terrorists, maybe, or something. But yeah, I thought that was a really strange one. I don't have any follow-up on that, but that story in
It's just
itself is
stupid and
worrying.
irresponsible.
Yeah, that's kind of the theme that goes
Yeah, like
through
in general,
these.
these are really stupid.
So the last one, I was aware of this when it came out, and it still didn't make me want to play the game. Did you guys play Dante's Inferno? It was a third-person kind of hack and slash action game based around Dante's story about hell, and basically for every deadly sin, EA brought out basically like a PR stunt just for that sin. So the typically kind of creepy, cringeworthy one was that you could commit a sin of lust with booth babes, and I assume that means the really horrible, awkward pose with them, and have a picture taken, which just makes me feel gross just thinking about it.
Yeah.
And the other one, which I actually think is quite funny, and I've seen other people do it as a joke instead of a PR stunt, was at the E3 when they were promoting Dante's Inferno, they posed their own Christian protest.
Wow.
So, I mean, I thought that was kind of funny. The thought of staging their own protest against their own game.
What, and then they're just secretly handing out like business cards and shit or something?
I imagine it's just to get the name of the game out there.
But that would be funny.
Because
they're handing out flyers and it's just like, buy this game.
Because I'll be honest, when I think about it, if a Christian, like a right-wing crazy Christian, is campaigning against something, there's a good chance I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
And probably support it.
It's a good rule, yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was actually quite a clever one. I thought we'd end on one that
That's
didn't
kinda
make
nice.
us all just want to go, please Ross, no more.
I wonder how they used it though. That's intriguing.
Probably poorly, but because there was ones I think for Greed as well, which involved them sending like checks to games journalists. I think it was like a $200 check, and if they spent it, it was then being greedy. It was very
Isn't that
strange.
just bribery?
Basically, yeah, for a good review.
Fuck.
But of course,
Gamergate!
yeah, yeah, making it a high-profile thing.
It's funny how the current Gamergaters don't seem to have an issue with that story. They don't ever bring that one up, huh? Sorry, we won't talk about Gamergate.
But yeah, that was the kind of worst of them that I was able to find.
Yeah.
But it just shows the games industry still has a lot to learn about promoting itself.
Well, there's the one I spoke to you briefly about earlier, but this is just in general, like Max Clifford is an arsehole.
Oh, yeah.
The story of it.
Yeah.
Like, he's currently in jail. Like I won't go into details, but he's an arsehole.
Mm-hmm.
And he is just a very famous British publicist who, like, creates outrage in the tabloids to promote things and gets, like, celebrities out of whatever issue they're in. And he generated a lot of publicity around GTA and things like that. Like, he made the tabloids outrage about it so that people would hear about GTA. But now he's in jail, so fuck him.
It is something, having worked in game shops for a long time, negative, like, it really does lend credence to the thought that there is no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
Because, especially in the games industry, if it's someone's mum that's maybe heard about this thing, it's like, oh, my little Timmy will never play that. That just makes little Timmy want to play it all the more.
Yeah. They're just going to go to a friend's house and pretend they're having a nice sleepover and just play the game.
That's
killing
exactly how I played Grand Theft Auto and Mortal Kombat.
I played a lot of games as a kid, mostly just because I couldn't afford the consoles. But yeah,
It's the same with movies, though.
yeah.
Oh, of course. Like,
but no one cares about that for some reason. That's
well, it's because
unofficially just okay because it's your parents'
games
choice.
Games are the new scapegoat.
Yeah.
But, you know, we could go into why modern culture still has to kind of adapt to games. I mean, it's getting better. Like, with things like Minecraft is a massive ambassador for video games, I
feel
think.
like Minecraft is almost like turning back on itself. Like, it was doing a lot of good for games, but it's also making parents hate games because they're having to buy like all the toys and the t-shirts and shit that goes along with it, and they never hear their kids not talking about Minecraft.
Well, that might be
it's
true.
still good, but I think parents are secretly like, fuck you, Minecraft.
Yeah, to be honest, I can imagine it's like Toys to Life games like Skylanders that are doing a lot more of that.
Although that's also maybe good because it's like easy birthday presents for that kid. Like, the family will know what to get that kid.
Possibly, but then again, I've never known a child that didn't want something.
Yeah.
Like for their birthday. Cool. So I thought we'd move on to what we were playing, because we didn't really have much time for that last week. Will we start off with Matt?
We can. I've not really changed my playing thing. I'm still doing the long slog of Mad Max, doing all the small missions. Well, not even missions, just drive up to a camp, kill the people there, take all this scrap. Because I'm, as I've already said, I'm going to 100% this game.
Yeah.
So
the kind of obsessive compulsive disorder has come out.
Not intentionally. I've never wanted to. I struggle to finish games a lot of the time, but this one it's just.
What is it about this game that's making you want to see everything? Is it just because it's so pretty, or?
I have no idea.
I get like that sometimes. I know what you mean. Like, sometimes it's just a game and it's like, I can do this.
Yeah.
It's. Ian, who actually was on our podcast a long time ago, wrote a review about it recently, and he did talk about all the flaws. But even though there are lots of flaws of that game, you still kind of go, I'll spend all my time doing this, and I don't know, about a third of the time I've been playing it, it's just me using the in-game capture mode and trying to frame the perfect shot and then choose the perfect filter. And then
I think that says a lot about you.
FOV. Yeah, I guess it does. But it's yes. Still playing that, and
it's definitely a pretty game though.
Playing that when I've not been playing Star Wars Battlefront when that was available. But
so
we'll get to that later.
Well, I figure we should start with this because this is a game that literally everyone at the table has at least had a shot of.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on it, Matt? You played it on PC.
I did play it on PC. I played them single player first because it told me to, and it warned me not to go to Hoth yet.
Yeah, so
that made me angry. I was like, no, I want to go to Hoth. Don't tell me what to do.
You're not my mum.
No, I didn't. I went to the multiplayer.
No,
and really enjoyed the capsule drop or whatever it's called.
Yeah, well, let's break it down then, because there was only 3 modes in the demo. So the first one, the single player mode, which actually works as co-op mode as well. Was survival mode, so it's basically just waves of waves of enemies coming at you. You get a little bit of a chance to see the different kind of class divisions that you get.
I always see single player modes like that as just practice mode, basically.
Yeah.
It's a good challenge. I mean, because other people here were on PC as well, I could see their scores for that level, and the time it took to beat the level, and mine was triple what theirs was when I first played it. I am going to beat that time.
So it's me and Keith.
Yes.
Playing it co-op.
I couldn't beat your co-op time because that was just over 5 minutes. I got 6 minutes, or within 6 minutes anyway. But there's no way I was going to beat your co-op time because I'm too busy trying to use all the power-ups and the pods.
Yeah.
Because
you want to learn what they do.
Yes.
Before. But anyway, so this mode allows you to basically face waves of stormtroopers and a couple of ATSTs as well, the chicken walkers, and you get to go up against guys like the scouts who have sniper rifles, or guys who have like bubble shields around them, like droidicas.
Yeah, and heavy.
And of course, it's the jump pack troops as well who can hover.
Oh yeah. Which are actually really easy to kill. You hit the backpack when they're flying, and they'll just zoom off and blow up the body.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing that struck me was just how beautiful the game is.
Stunning. Yeah. I was using third person view just because I wanted to see the character that I was. Even though it was less of control. Well,
a lot of people recommend third person view because you can actually the aiming reticule, because there isn't any like kick on a blaster, you can pretty much just aim and not have to worry about your rifle bucking all over the place. You also get a lot more spatial awareness, which becomes a much bigger deal in the other two modes. So there was basically like King of the Hill mode, where these pods will drop, and you're either rebels or Empire. You have to capture the pod and hold it until like the timer counts down, and then you move on to the next one, and you're rewarded with like say an orbital strike, which is a really powerful attack, or like a little turret, or maybe like a gun that you can control as well. Or a thermal imploder.
That's it.
Which is the sound. Like that was another thing. The sound of the game, like a lot of the really big toys that you get to play with, like just sound fantastic.
It sounded very Mass Effect.
A little bit,
especially the thermal imploder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it's possible that they've liaised with BioWare for a lot of that stuff, because
it's just when the thermal imploder explodes, it sounds like in Mass Effect 3 when you kill a possessed abomination or something, like something that's possessed when you're fighting the collectors or the reapers or whatever, because they proper like explode and kill everyone who's standing around.
Yeah, they're the kind of bigger ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's
been ages since I played Mass Effect.
Yeah, me too. So yeah, like that mode, like I'm a big Battlefield fan, and a lot of people were kind of worried that it was essentially just slapping a Star Wars skin on a Battlefield game. And I think that while you can definitely see the kind of the DICE fingerprints all over the game, I think because it's so frantic, it doesn't really feel like a Battlefield game. I think they've changed a lot about it. There are still things like sometimes having to really slog to get back into the fight, which kind of sucks. But the power-ups are completely different. Like in Battlefield, when you start a map, normally you have your home base, and you'll find like a couple of jeeps, and then a couple of tanks, and maybe a helicopter or something. In Battlefront, I'm guessing everyone got to play with some of the bigger toys.
Not really, I didn't, but I can talk about it later.
Okay. So you got things like X-Wings and snow speeders or TIE fighters. I got a go on the Hoth level to play as an AT-AT like pilot.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It is really cool. Like
you're so OP.
Yeah, you just feel really powerful. And just the sound of the really heavy AT-AT blasters, and basically wherever you aim, things die. Especially the way the spawning system works, because people will just appear behind their friend, and it's really not a good time to spawn when someone's got an AT-AT.
I spawned behind a partner that had just been killed by Luke Skywalker. So, oh no, there's nothing I can do.
I think you can, like, I took down a couple of heroes while I was playing. You have to really conserve your jump pack if you have it, because like the heroes can jump really far and just get right up in your face with that lightsaber, and it only takes one swing.
Someone pointed out something that I thought was really cool.
Okay.
Because in the BioWare Star Wars game,
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yep. HK-47?
Yeah.
He gives advice on how to kill a Jedi, and that's by like leading them into traps, putting down bombs and shit like that, so that they just walk forward and die.
Yeah.
And it turns out that that's like the best way to kill Darth Vader. Is
like
to
proximity
just put down
mines.
Proximity mines and just lead him through death.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like well, the walker mode was the big one, like the one that everyone's seen a lot of promotional shots from.
Yeah.
And balancing is a bit of an issue with it. It's very difficult to win as the rebels because the Empire have a lot of weaponry.
Yeah.
And
but it is possible.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people complained about it.
I was able to do it, but I think I was lucky in that I was working with a team that followed the objectives instead of just going for a positive KD.
That's pretty much what it felt like most people were doing.
Because
that's one of the things that a lot of people complained about as well. Like at the end, it just shows who had the most kills and stuff, and that's not really what it's about. Like it should show more about who did the objectives.
You get the top 3 people. Like the top 3 VIPs. So you get people who did the most activations and shit like that. So. You get to see their stupid picture.
They've been good about acknowledging like the community's response to it and stuff. Like again with the AT-ATs, like they know that it's OP, but it'll be interesting to see how they balance it so that it's not OP, but you still feel powerful.
Yeah,
like you still have the cool experience in it.
I still don't think I know how to take down an AT well, but in terms of taking down things like AT-STs. Yeah. Like I felt like I got really good at that. Like because once you unlock the heavy blaster, it doesn't do as much damage, but it has an incredible fire rate and it doesn't overheat for like maybe twice as long as the other ones.
Someone said the best tactic for the AT-AT was to wait until its shields were down and get an orbital strike, and you can actually
take it out in
directly
one.
onto
I
the
did
body.
that and I couldn't get the. It just didn't do anything.
Well, GG.
I guess. I was thinking
L2P.
Well, I wasn't at a point where I could see the ground beneath the attack. I pointed at his body, called in the airstrike, and nothing happened at all.
Well, I think the airstrike, I think the orbital strikes were quite buggy because a lot of people were reporting that they called them in and nothing happened.
Ah, okay.
Oh, okay.
So
I love the sound of them hitting the shield.
Yeah.
It's so cool because it sounds just like in the movie. It's great.
The shield?
Yeah, when like you can get like a bubble shield that kind of...
The group shield?
Yeah.
I never used them. I planted them and ran away.
Well, everyone forgets that you can't shoot out of it, so you're standing there with a bunch of numpties going boom, 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 boom.
It's really useful inside Echo Base because you've got that one spot where the control point is, the uplink dish, and basically if you set it and then get everyone to fall back and then put the bubble shield
Can
round.
bad guys get through the shield?
Grenades can.
Yeah, they can.
Oh, okay.
Because
in the mode just talking about the multiplayer smaller maps, I would just be the crazy guy that activates shields and runs up to the point to collect back from my side because it just stops the counter, which is really annoying for them.
Everyone was doing that, so I was like, you know what, I've got enough of my teammates doing that. I'm going to equip the ion burst power up for my blaster, and these guys don't expect you to have it because they're like, oh, everyone will take the shield and not the ion blast. So you just take their shield down and kill them straight away.
Is that what the iron burst did?
Yeah, so that's how you take down an AT-ST as well.
Oh no, I knew that. It was only halfway through the beta I actually realised I don't need iron burst to kill humans because I just charged it up for fun, shooting people with blue bursts.
Yeah, I mean it might do extra damage, but I don't think it does. But it's really good for taking down the guys who have the bubble shields.
Cool.
So it's really helpful for that.
I did find a really buggy experience flying a snowspeeder. I was trapped at the corner of a map when it first spawned in. It kept on doing U-turns for me.
Oh right,
I was getting attacked by a TIE fighter, and I had 90 seconds or however long you get in it of just doing constant U-turns, lining it up with the attack going, I'm going to get close, and then it would do an automatic U-turn and I'd be facing the wrong way.
It's like one of your buttons on your keyboard was stuck or something.
I was doing nothing and it was the most infuriating time because it's the first time I played with a snowspeeder and I thought, and I had no idea how to launch the cable. I just read that, but that's my own.
I showed Matt a video recently of a guy who actually took down both the AT-ATs within 2 minutes of each other with the snowspeeder, and he still failed the mission because it was just at the moment that the AT-AT got into range. So you see on the video an AT-AT slumped down in the snow, but you still see a blast come from the middle of the air and just blow the shield generator apart.
That sucks.
Yeah, I don't think he was very happy. but it was very impressive.
Matt just gestured at me.
What was your experience of it? You've not said much.
In general, I'm not a fan of multiplayer shooters. Like, I was just interested in Battlefront because it's Star Wars, but I don't really care for them. Like, without a story, I get bored, and I just... It's the same with, like, a game like Splatoon. I was super stoked for Splatoon to come out. I played it, like, for a few weeks, and then I got bored because I felt like there wasn't anything for me to do, and I just go back to my story games that I'm playing. So, like, I appreciate that it's good. People liked it, and for me, I just thought it was so pretty, and I want those maps and that art in an RPG where I can just run around and like do quests and shit. Like, that's what I want. But yeah,
it gives me hope for EA and Star Wars, because I think together they're going to make some of the best Star Wars games we've ever seen.
I just can't see myself paying like 40-50 quid for it. Like, if I found it on sale for like 15 quid maybe, but I just can't see myself paying for like a full retail game.
And then it's another 40 quid for the season pass.
Yeah, shit like that. Like, and I just don't think I'd get that much playtime out of it.
I can understand
it wouldn't
that.
be worth it for me to buy it.
I would love to see a solo mode.
Solo.
No, pun intended. I'd like to see a single player campaign kind of thing where you're just like, on the same maps, but with, well, on the kind of maps like Hoth, but against NPCs. Just but a massive flood of them, but not wave after wave or anything, just you're recreating the Hoth battle.
Yeah, like if it was something a bit more like Halo, where it is that like you're going through the world and there's like you have to get to a point or whatever, like, and it is NPCs coming at you. I think I'd be more interested if it was like that. I don't know. Again, I'm just not a fan of multiplayer.
It would feel more like the movie, because as good as multiplayer is, I don't always want to play that, where I've got people that are just so
Too
much
good.
better than me.
Yeah, it gets stressful.
And they've snuck around like the edge of the map where nobody goes, just so they can kill everyone with your own turret behind you. So I want to play the actual game, the movie. I want to recreate that, not worry about a guy that managed to use a jetpack to get up to the massive peak that no one else can get to, and he's just taking pot shots at you.
But yeah, it's so pretty. I'd love to see what they can do with that engine and those maps and stuff like that.
And they will. They'll keep going with that, which is only
like,
good.
Because they'll be sharing assets like between the teams, and that means hopefully a new BioWare Star Wars RPG. And you know, there's massive rumours about Visceral working on not 1313 but something similar.
Nolan North's blabbing.
Yeah, and Amy Hennig and Jade Raymond as well working on that. So that could be an amazing game.
Well, Battlefront's just made me more excited for Mass Effect 4 and the Cyberpunk thing coming from CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077. They have
is that
said,
the name of the game, or is that like a code name?
No, that's what it's called. It's based on a tabletop pen and paper kind of RPG thing. I am really, really looking forward to that, because I love cyberpunk stuff, and I love The Witcher 3. So I think adding guns to Witcher 3 would have maybe not been great, but certainly if they do anything that looks half as good as Witcher 3 did, that could be something special.
The trailer for Cyberpunk is gorgeous.
It is, although that's not always indicative of a quality game at the end of it. But the trailer is certainly gorgeous.
I think a lot of people trust CD Projekt Red.
And so they should, because they are the good guys of game development at the moment.
Well, that's what they want you to do. They get you on their side, and then they do the old switcheroo. I'm not sure what that entails, but they're going to do it.
It's the fact that they just released their first paid DLC, and it adds 10 hours of gameplay.
And it's like a tenner?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like,
that's what you want.
When was the last time someone released something like that?
I really just want those Gwent cards. I want those Gwent cards.
Like, they must have some in development or something, because they take down every like fan-made Gwent cards.
Where they're collector's editions. The original collector's edition of Witcher 3 came with, I think, maybe the board and the first 2 decks.
There's surely enough demand, though, that they'd maybe do some sort of other merchandise for it.
I hope so.
BioWare released the tarot cards in the end.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So,
they are very pretty. But has anyone else been playing anything cool?
I've been playing Elder Scrolls.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because Ross sold me Elder Scrolls Online because you bought it for like 18 quid.
Yeah.
And didn't like it. I've been having lots of fun in that. Like, that's also part of the reason that I didn't play much Battlefront, because I'm like, but I want to go back into Elder Scrolls. Like, I know that it's like Battlefront was a beta and it was limited, but I was like, I'm having too much fun in Elder Scrolls right now.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's just it definitely it's reminding me of my time playing Skyrim, but it's different somehow.
Is it your first MMO?
No.
Okay.
But it's just It's just lots of fun. Like, I haven't really grouped up with anyone or anything, and I think it's good that it's not been making me do that, and I can still have fun on my own.
I think that was a big part of it. I remember Alice said that when she started in it.
But at the same time, I'm still kind of getting help from people, because what it does, it only shows you players who are doing a similar thing to you, so you're not going to get crowded with everyone. I think that's how it works anyways, because I've only seen people similar level doing the same objectives as me. And it means if I'm in a dungeon where it's getting a bit like difficult, there's someone around who can help me, but I don't need to ask because they're doing the same thing as me.
I had that experience a couple of times. It can be difficult to communicate with people, though.
I haven't bothered trying to. I've just been doing my own thing, and I've been having lots of fun. I haven't really done much of the main story, just because I was like, right, fuck you, Prophet, I'm gonna run around this town and get all the quests and stuff. And it's been good. And I have that little pet, the little what's his name?
Scrabbler or something.
It's like Scuttler or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's cute.
He's like a little lizardy thing, right?
Yeah, he's cute. And like, oh my god, I was playing it, and I showed Doug that I had this little pet, and he looks like a little lizard. And then he was away for a couple of days, came back, and I was doing a quest where there was an Argonian following me, and he was like, "Did your pet grow up into a person?" I was just like crying, and he was like, "What?" And I'm like, "No."
Has he played like Skyrim and stuff? Ah, well, that
he
explains
played
it.
a little bit of Skyrim, but he didn't really like get into it or anything. But
it's a difficult it's a difficult world to just dip a toe
he
into.
thought I had enslaved an Argonian, and I'm like, that's a touchy subject, especially considering I'm a dark elf. Like,
right, okay, jeez. Not cool.
But yeah, apart from that, I played loads of Psychonauts because.
Oh right, okay.
Because Psychonauts is one of the games that I would only ever play at a friend's house or whatever, and I never got to like fully do it. And I was like, fuck it, I've had it on Steam for ages, I'm just going to play it. And I put like 20 hours into it, and then it became October, and I'm like, I need to play Costume Quest 2.
Quest.
Because Alice got me Costume Quest 2 for my birthday back in February, and I've been saving it for Spoopy season.
Spoopy?
So I've been playing lots of Double Fine, basically.
That's funny you should say that, actually. I've been watching the Double Fine Adventure documentary.
Oh, okay.
We can maybe save that for the next episode, because I've been really enjoying it.
I should watch that.
It's really, like, Tim Schafer is one of my game design idols. I'm not even a big fan of adventure games. I just love the humour that he injects into
even
games.
like Costume Quest, which is kind of a kid's game, but not really, because it's Double Fine. Like, there's so much humour in that as well, and I just love it. And the studio who make Adventure Time, the cartoon, are making a Costume Quest cartoon, and I'm super excited for that. I just hope that it comes out in time for this Halloween. But they, like, on their Facebook, they've shown like some drawings and stuff like that, so I don't know how far along it is.
If it was coming out for this year's Halloween, I'd imagine they would be promoting it by now. Yeah,
but I'm excited for that.
Cool. Are you enjoying Psychonauts? It's one of his classics.
Yeah, like,
it's really overlooked.
The reason I stopped playing it recently, apart from Costume Quest, is I'm on the last level, and it's the type of objective where you need to do something within a certain time. Like, it's a kind of an escort mission, and you need to do something, otherwise the guy gets killed. And that was frustrating me. And it was like 2 a.m. and I was like, "Fuck off!" I'm not
I
doing
hate
this
escort
right
missions. I don't think anyone's been like, needs more escort missions.
Yeah, never. Like, especially when it's not like I can just put them in a corner and do my thing. Like, he's going ahead of me, getting killed, and I need to catch up while doing like platforming puzzles to get up to the bit where he's at, and I'm like, ah! I was getting so frustrated. But that's a game that I want to 100%.
In the Double Fine documentary, there's a bit where he looks through, basically because the whole thing is that they kickstarted the game, so he's talking about the feedback that he had gotten on Psychonauts, and one of the bits of feedback was, please try to minimise any references that are region specific, such as the summer camp. Basically, I don't know if you guys have played Psychonauts, but it takes place entirely in a summer camp for psychics.
Yeah, it's like children's psychics go to this summer camp to like hone their powers and stuff. Well, it's also kind of set in an asylum. But, how is that a region specific reference?
Wow.
Well, I guess summer camps
yeah,
pretty much an American thing, but
yeah. The thing that weirds me out about Psychonauts is they're technically meant to be humans, but they don't look like humans at all.
No, not really.
But I like it. Like, it's the kind of art style that doesn't age because it's so stylized.
Absolutely. So we'll jump on to movies because we're kind of winding down now. The only person I know who has definitely seen a movie since we last recorded was Alice. You went to see Sicario?
Yeah. And it was really weird because it was like watching two different films.
Okay, so what's it about?
Well, it's it starts off by explaining the title to you.
Okay.
So is it like it's Spanish for hitman?
Is it one of these things? It's like a black page, white text.
Literally.
Is it that in the
Scenario
trailer?
is Mexican
It's not
hitman.
cool.
Blah blah blah.
It's really
like,
not cool.
okay.
To be honest, when you say Mexican hitman, I just think of Agent 47 with a big mustache.
That's literally what I thought. And I was like, this film's going to be weird.
It's so patronising to the audience. I often find things like that are better, like if you're not told it and you kind of discover it afterwards, and you're like, oh, it all comes together or whatever, you know.
The audience.
Oh, there's a war in the stars. I get it.
It makes so much sense.
Okay, so it was like 2 different movies.
Yeah, it's got Emily Blunt and Benicio Del Toro in it, and
He's
some
very
other
niche,
guy.
you know.
Fuck off.
It's a joke from before we started recording.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
And basically,
So that's 2 Guardians of the 2 Marvel characters.
So the first half of the film is basically Emily Blunt's character being like a cop who's by the books, and she wants to do more to sort the whole drug crisis thing.
Okay.
Because like the first scene is they're busting this house, and they tear down the walls, and it turns out that the walls are filled with dead bodies.
Oh God.
And it's quite gruesome, and you're like, oh shit, what have I gotten myself into?
She says, laughing.
And then she, by trying to do more, she goes to a different department, and she works with Benicio Del Toro and Josh Brolin's characters.
Okay.
And they're basically massive dicks, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then the second half of the film is just about Benicio Del Toro's character.
Right, okay.
Like,
so it just takes the focus off Emily Blunt. And,
yeah.
Okay.
So I spent the first half of the film going, oh god, this is great. It's an action film where the female character is the main focus, and she's actually going to get some shit done here.
Okay.
And then in the second half, you just realise that she was just like a plot device to get to Benicio Del Toro's story.
It's possible that maybe they switched writers halfway through, or
I was just so disappointed by the end of it, because there's no character development for Emily Blunt's character. Like, nothing happens. Like, they have this thing that she wants to do and this thing that he wants to do, and he goes and does it, and then nothing else happens.
All right, okay.
And you're like, what the fuck just happened? Nothing that was meant to happen happened.
And it makes me sad as well, because I like Emily Blunt, and I only really know her from like The Devil Wears Prada, and she's great in that, so I was excited to potentially see her in she's the British not secretary. She works at the magazine department, and she's like a bitch in Devil Wears Prada.
I've not seen it. So.
Oh, she's great in it. She's like perfect at being like crazy and neurotic.
She was in Prometheus, wasn't she?
Yeah, but that sucked. Who cares?
I didn't mind Prometheus that much.
It was stupid.
She was in something
so
else that I can't remember.
But yeah, I was excited to see her in something like cool and actiony, but it sounds like she's just like, and now for the main character, Benicio Del Toro.
And it's got that guy from The Walking Dead in it who has weird earlobes.
Shane.
Yeah.
John Bernthal.
He's a dick.
He is, but he's very good at playing the dick.
Yeah.
He has weird earlobes.
Well, yeah, it's just her character and her nice black guy friend, and then everyone else is a dick. Like, literally everyone else in the movie is a dick.
Well, speaking of John Bernthal and being a dick, I know you finished season 1 of Daredevil.
Yeah.
No,
I've not finished it.
Have you not finished it yet?
No.
Right, I'm 3 episodes from the end, but I saw the trailer for season 2.
Is he in it?
As the Punisher. So I'm really, really looking forward to that, because it's going to start bringing the street level Marvel characters together. I am super excited to see that.
He's an arsehole.
What? Well, yeah, but the Punisher is an arsehole. To be honest, Matt Murdock has his moments when he's a bit of a dick.
Yeah, I know, but he's got a cool name.
And he's blind, so he's probably just a bit angry about that.
You kind of have to feel a bit bad for him, you know?
I don't know. I think that's like one of the messages of the show is don't feel bad for him. This guy's badass.
Yeah, I know.
Are you allowed to have a day when you feel like shit and your shit eats people?
I think it's funny that after every fight he's actually fucking knackered. Like, he's dying.
Yeah.
Because he,
like Batman who just rubs off his shoulders and he's like, right, what do now?
because he has no superpowers, really. So he's just like, oh, fucking hell.
I tell you,
That was a tough fight.
He's just got like a little apple juice box.
And like an inhaler.
Yeah. A bat hailer.
That's what it's like the scene with
That's what's in his utility belt. Apple juice and an inhaler. And a phone to call his mum. Oh, she can.
Yeah, the hallway scene, and he punches that guy who falls through the door, and then he falls after him, and then he's like stumbling through, like, okay, I've killed everyone, let's go.
Yeah, that was we spoke about it briefly. It must have been the last episode.
I think I put the scene in the blog.
It's just how dark the fight scenes are, and I think
Someone's
it's
buzzing.
That's me.
Okay.
I think it's purposeful, and it's meant to mimic how hard a time he's having seeing what's going on around him.
Mm-hmm.
But he's sloppy. Like, that's the thing. There's an episode where, let's say, a mentor figure appears, and you're like, great, he's going to get back on it. And I don't know, like, he still seems really sloppy. He's making bad decisions. And although he kicks ass, he gets his ass kicked and stabbed a few times.
Yeah.
Mr. Judgmental over here. I'd like to see you do better.
Well, look,
Cross,
you never will see me because I'm that good at it.
GG Daredevil.
Yeah. I mean, I only patrol my house, but I'm pretty sure...
Just making sure that cat doesn't come back.
Yeah, and it hasn't. Yeah, it's Karen. Don't tell Karen about that.
It's you just out there with like a stick, like waving it around, making sure the cat doesn't come in.
That's how I actually hurt my leg. Jumping off the top of the shed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for one last little bit, my notes for the science section.
Here we go. Matt's got
we have our science correspondent, Mr. Matthew Burt.
Matt's got a fucking thesis.
Basically, just having block capitals the word aliens.
Question mark?
So, Matt, aliens?
Confirmed.
Okay.
Cool.
Bye. Done. No. So in the news, on the webs, there's just a cool. Well, it's internet, so everyone's of course saying aliens, but it's just a Kepler planet observation. I think it's from 2009. Just has some crazy light fluctuations because that's how Kepler finds planets, or that's one way of measuring planets orbiting other stars. You measure
see how big its orbit is.
Well, you see like the light dip because the planet has moved in front of the sun or the star, and so that's how they tell that there are planets.
That makes sense.
So this was done, and it was just crazy. So I actually did print out the Where's the Flux report.
I wish they called it What the Flux.
I know, it'd be very cool. But it's just a nice little piece, like an introduction piece where it talks about the light that was being measured from this star dropped below 20%.
That's going to sound horrible.
Yeah. And it lasted between 5 and 80 days. It's just crazy. It's got a star rotation period of 0.88 days.
Yeah, that seems right.
It's cool. But,
yes.
So the paper actually says, right, it's got to be something crazy going on in that system to allow this kind of to generate this kind of light dipping for so long. So it could either be like a Jupiter's wandered past its star and got ripped apart, so there's chunks of matter flying around, or a comet has done the same thing. But it has to be relatively recent because they would normally just with gravity come together and make a little mini planet-y thing going on. Planetesimal? No, it's not planetesimal. But anyway, or be just absorbed into the star. But some people are saying it could be alien structures.
And to clarify, they only ever resort to aliens as like the last option when they've explored everything else. And so, I mean, like, whenever we talk about science, I'm always the one here, like, it's fucking aliens, like, it's aliens. But, like, it's awesome that the scientists are like, well, maybe it is. Like, well, unless they already have
a final possibility they have to consider. But
I'm religious now, I think it was God.
He put it there to test us.
Yeah.
Sorry, we shouldn't make fun of it.
It's a very ironic devil's advocate.
But yeah, no, it's just a really cool thing, just to, because it's gone internet way, everyone's only thinking about Dyson spheres and stuff, which are really cool things.
Can you explain a Dyson sphere?
It's harnessing the power of the sun by building, just imagine encasing a star with solar panels pointing in the way.
At what point does it clean your floor?
Wow, thanks. It's nothing to do with Miles Bennett Dyson.
That's it. We've got the joke of the episode down. We don't need to work.
That's
anymore.
my one for 2015.
Nobody even. That doesn't matter. Miles Bennett Dyson is from Terminator. But anyway, so yeah, no, it's just it's the planned projection of.
It's the guy with the detonator, right?
Yes, it is. It's what scientists or smart people think that is the ultimate trajectory for harnessing energy for an advanced race. Because, like, what is it? We're trying to figure out fusion, nuclear fusion and things, which is the star. Our sun is just a giant version of that. So why would you build your own if you have the technology
to harness the suns?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's just really cool.
I guess that could do a lot of good as well, because it could cut down on solar radiation as well, potentially.
Well, you've got to have a vent for it's not just light you're absorbing. You've got to you can't fully encase it without having some form of way to deal with the exhaust.
And you've got to have like a really fucking long cable all the way coming back.
You really do, don't you?
You just plug that into the core of the earth, and then that'll take care of it.
So to clear it up, are people thinking that these like dips in the light and the structures could be a Dyson sphere made by another planet, civilization?
That's exactly what some people theorize.
Yeah.
But a civilization, this is 1,400 and something light years away.
Yeah.
So that's us seeing whatever happened that many years ago.
Yeah.
So so people also say, but that means they're only seeing our planet. If they can build that, they've investigated
they know who we are.
Well, no, but 1,400 years ago we weren't making massive changes to our planet, so
they just like those dickheads.
They may not even know that we're a system here, but that's if they exist. And it's just really nice to see interest in things like this again. And whatever they find, though, this is the actual end product is whatever they do. When they point things at it, I think it's January, they want to point more telescopes at it. It will be really interesting, and it's not, there's a very slim chance it's going to actually be a Dyson sphere. But whatever they do find, they've never seen before, and that's cool in itself.
Awesome.
Everyone's going to be so disappointed, though.
I get disappointed every time it's not aliens for anything, like the fucking exoplanet discovery, because I'm just here like, aliens, and it wasn't aliens.
Water on Mars, rubbish.
Oh no, that was cool.
There was a really cool Reddit page I just started reading about this yesterday, I think it was, and just people talking about all the different things that it could mean, and just even people fantasizing about the fact that what it would do if we did have no other explanation other than this is intelligent people over there. Just it would be obviously world changing. It'd be cool.
See, I knew you were serious about it when you said you were on Reddit looking at
it.
Yeah.
Well, I just googled I forget what I googled. Just
space alien
megastructure Kepler or something like that, and it gets you great results.
Cool. Well, we have kind of neglected our science section a little bit. So maybe
it's difficult to find science news that
everyone would be
general population would find interesting. Yeah, like, and not just like, they discovered a new way to make a microwave or whatever. Like, no one cares.
I like that voice. I like your generic scientist voice.
I've been around a lot of generic scientists, so I have experience.
I guess generic is definitely a word you could use to describe them. Cool. So. Yeah, thank you very much for listening to this episode. You can find more at splittingpixels.info. Please do subscribe to the show on both iTunes and YouTube. Leave nice comments if you would be so kind, and a good review. But until then, beware of the tram driver with feathers. He might just be a raptor.
If you think you hear a clucking noise, just get away from there straight away.
Also, chickens should not have hands.
The end.
I counter that.
Bye.
So, until next time, bye.